Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for the opportunity. So I'm Shafkat. I work for a startup called Udoy, where we try to use machine learning and AI technology along with human customer service assistants to try and improve the user experience of any product and service. So I wanted to talk a bit more about what artificial intelligence is. It's something that seems to be making exponential growth almost every single week. Almost every day there seems to be like a new news about like something great on AI. But it is something really new. Well, not necessarily. Some of these ideas have been around for a long time in science fiction. And even in reality, like the term AI was first used in the 1950s. So what happened after 1950s? This is almost 2020. Like, what happened with AI in between? Like, why is there a sudden explosion of AI now? Well, basically, what happened was that computers have gotten extremely powerful and comparatively cheaper over the years, which enable like the AI algorithms to process a larger amount of data more efficiently and come up with better results. So, but at the core, how does AI work? Well, the idea of AI is actually quite simple. You take a lot of data, you analyze the data, you try and find patterns in existing data, and using those patterns, you try and predict future patterns. What might happen in the future, like how previous history might affect your future outcome. And based on that, you can make certain decisions to help your daily job, daily lifestyle, and based on those decisions, you again feed the computer with your feedback, which helps the computer algorithms to make even better predictions in the future. So why is it important? Like, why do we need to know about AI? Like, is it something only the tech guys should know about? Is it something that should concern everyone? Well, let's see. Let's try and see how AI can help in different industries and then figure out like who should be talking about AI. Let's think about retail. What can AI do in retail? I'll give you a very simple example of an AI that we all have used for a long time. Like whenever we make any purchases online, you know how the site gives you suggestions, related products, you might also like to buy this product. That's a very, very basic form of AI. And that has been around for the last 20 years. Now, over the years, as you can, like if you guys are purchasing products online, you probably notice like nowadays the suggestions are very, very personal. Like it can actually suggest the actual product you might be looking for. And sometimes we do end up buying those products. And how does the computer know this? How does it know that if I buy monitor, I might need a keyboard? How does it know? It basically checks through your previous purchases. So it probably knows that you already have a computer, you already have a mouse, but you don't have a keyboard or a monitor, and then it suggests you. It looks at patterns of what your friends are buying. So if your friends are buying a particular type of jeans, it will automatically suggest you if you would like to buy the same kind of jeans. And this also helps the sellers. Basically, it helps them to better predict their inventory and reduces cost of storing a lot of inventory. And it kind of increases their sales as well. Like sometimes we end up buying more than we actually initially thought of. But then again, if the accuracy of those suggestions are right, we'll probably end up making smarter purchases. Let's talk about another industry, farming. I think like most people wouldn't associate AI with farming. I hope that I'm wrong, but in farming, AI can increase productivity exponentially. Think about how we plant crops nowadays in Bangladesh. Like we kind of follow the same kind of pattern every single year. If you are growing rice for the next 5 years or till a certain amount of time, you will be growing rice. But what if we could let the farmers give give them more tools and more suggestions and as to what to plant and how much earnings they can expect at the end of the year. And what if we also consider data from like weather reports, population reports, and determine like which kind of products will be more in demand in the coming year. And based on that, if the farmer does his job, so it increases the farm's productivity, it can increase the sustainability of the land, and also it can it can influence like how the entire farming sector or the farming economy grows over time. City planning, can AI help here? Well, definitely. Like in every modern city nowadays, we have tons of cameras, sensors everywhere, traffic lights, and tons of data on population and how the population is growing, and all the information can be processed through an AI algorithm to predict how the city would change in, say, 10 years, 20 years, or even 50 years in the future. And based on that data, or based on that analysis, we can plan out like how many roads we might need, how many schools or parks or recreational centers we might need in the future. What kind of demography would a city have in like 50 years' time? Based on that, we can decide like if there will be more need for commercial space, retail space, or even houses. Like even if we go into houses, would the population of the city be single unit houses or larger apartments? We can all predict this using AI. Customer service, like this is something we're kind of working at Udoy, like trying to improve the customer service experience. So like how can AI really help here? Basically, like whenever we call customer service number, usually we end up waiting for some time for the representative to go through my file and then find out exactly what the problem is, and then come up with a solution. But as like we did a small study, we found out that if one person is calling about a product with a particular kind of issue, chances are someone else before him has already called regarding the same problem. And chances are the company already has a proper solution for that problem. So whenever a new customer is calling, the companies no longer have to wait to go through the entire process of finding out what the problem is and then figuring out the solution. Like they have a solution ready just the moment the customer contacts them. And this reduces wait time, this reduces time at queues, and overall it improves the experience of the customer. How about healthcare? We are already seeing like the benefits of AI in healthcare. Like with AI, like in healthcare, we can now, like doctors can now design specific medicines to target specific cases in patients. That kind of reduces the risk of side effects from generic medicine. And also, instead of giving them a fixed prescription for the medicine, they can tweak those prescriptions to meet the patient's exact medical condition. And that way, it reduces the chances of like any misdiagnosis, right? And even just a few days back, Google showed a demo on how its AI cameras are working to improve medical healthcare. So with just our phone camera, like we can take pictures of a human eye and detect early conditions of diabetes just from a picture with a smartphone. And that is only possible with the AI algorithms. Construction work? Definitely. Nowadays, there are already AI algorithms in use which can predict the cost of a building or the environmental impact of that building just by scanning the blueprint. Like that's mind-blowing. Like even 5-10 years back, this would have been science fiction. Just scanning a blueprint of a building, we can figure out how much it might cost. We can figure out what the building might look like in 10 years or 20 years time, and we can figure out what environmental impact that structure is having in the surrounding area. Well, what I'm trying to get to is that like AI is not really only limited to computer science. It is actually everywhere. We are already using it, even if we don't realize it. Like there are already automated cars like which drives itself, like Tesla, and they are coming up with automated trucks and lorries and all this stuff which will run completely autonomously on their own. We have earphones now which can translate in real time at least 40 different languages, and this is only going to get better and better over time. And Andrew Ng, one of the professors, like pioneers of computer science and AI technology in particular, he has this quote, like in the early days of AI, like just as industrial revolution freed us up from the burdens of physical labor, the AI revolution has the potential to free us from the mental labor. So we can all rely on computers more and more to make better decisions for us, which we can use to like even improve the AI's performance further in the future. The AI revolution is not really not something that's going to happen in the future. It's already happening. We are already experiencing the AI revolution, and in 5 to 10 years' time, it will be like a part of life. So I hope that by that time, we as a country would be ready to embrace AI not only in computer science, but in all aspects of life, be it in construction, be it in city planning, medicine, any kind of industry. Thank you.